There's so many challenges that have happened in the last year and a half, and I think all of it together has been really exhausting for our clients. We're talking about a racial justice movement. We're talking about COVID. We're talking about political instability. So much has happened in the last 18 months.
The fabric of America has been torn, but not broken. And as we search for a new definition of normalcy,
we had a breach at the Capitol building.
We honor those that have not wavered from their commitment to serve the often forgotten population of women and girls in the DC metro community.
It's been a really tough year for everybody, and especially for our clients who already had trouble accessing services and benefits in the courts. But then once COVID hit, it made everything just 10 times harder.
I think something that's incredible about the work of DC Volunteer Lawyers Project is we're not just helping our clients, but we are broadening our impact and helping other lawyers do this work, which is inspiring in so many ways, because not only are we helping the clients, but we're helping more people help clients.
For me, I don't think I've ever had an aha moment of this is why I do what I do. I think I get these constant sort of observations of validation that what we do is important, and supporting and I think really partnering in this work like the Women's Bar Association Foundation does is equally important, because we are all contributing to that ripple effect in our communities that makes them stronger and healthier.
The Legal Clinic is an organization that focuses on achieving housing justice and access to justice for residents of the District of Columbia who are experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness. We support our clients in bringing their own voices into the conversations that impact their lives. We don't view ourselves as being a voice for the voiceless. All of our clients have a voice. They may have lacked an audience or lacked the support that they felt they needed to effectively bring their voice to the conversation. So we support them.
I saw a lot of violence against Black women's bodies growing up in DC, and I always knew that I went to law school. I wanted to work with that and fight against that and fight against this culture of violence against Black people in general, but especially against Black women and girls. So I didn't know how I was going to do it or what form I was going to do it, but I knew I was going to do it in some way through the legal system. So I just had different types of jobs and just ended up with me forming an organization to get to those goals.
So what First Shift does is try to keep people out of court, out of legal processes, and we use our legal skills to advise women on how they can exercise their workplace rights from the get-go. Thinking that if we can help a woman get an accommodation during pregnancy, if we can help her assert her right to pump at work, if we can help her respond to pregnancy discrimination or get access to job protected leave, or now in DC, paid leave benefits, and we can help her maintain her job, then everybody's better off. The employer wins, the employee wins, and her family wins.
We couldn't be more proud of the organizations that we fund and that we contribute to. They're doing such difficult work in normal times, on any day of the week, and then throw a pandemic on top of it, and it's heroic.
You hear stories about people suffering, and you kind of take that on for yourself. So it's definitely important, and it's a value that Ayuda has kind of driven into me is well-being and self-care. And so making sure to take the time that you need if you have a difficult client meeting to maybe take a walk outside afterwards, or to make sure that you're taking the time off that you need to recover and just to be able to continue to do the work long term, because if not, I think it would be really easy to kind of get discouraged and burn out, and that's not something that I want to do. I want to be able to do this work in the long term. So it's like knowing my limits, knowing my boundaries, and when I do need to take a little bit of time off.
There's a special significance in the support from the WBA as a woman-founded organization and a woman-led organization. And the vast majority of our clients are female. And so having the support and the partnership of the Women's Bar Association is really significant and meaningful for us. our organization is proud to be an all-in for women organization. So every member of our staff, lawyer and non-lawyer, is a member of the WBA.
I do this work because there is a different fulfillment that I get. I really am satisfied with knowing that at the end of the day, I am helping an organization that is providing a very much needed service to the community. And while I like to put myself out of business, and that is the hope that one day we no longer need a legal counsel for the elderly. While we're here, I'm very happy to be able to be in this position as the executive director. I can't imagine a better job to have than the one that I have. I am completely fulfilled in the work that I do.
I've always been passionate about helping children and families, and in some of the other work that I had done at DC Volunteer Lawyers Project, I identified an unmet need of helping kinship families to access the courts and services, because the courts and government services are all set up for traditional families, not families that look like theirs, which are grandparents raising their grandchildren, aunts and uncles raising their nieces and nephews, or even adult siblings raising their younger siblings.
We had a young woman, Ward 8, who was referred by one of our partners who actually received custody at like 7 p.m. at night. And I remember getting the call from my attorney who was in Virginia, and she said, I don't know if I can get there. Well, I drove there. We met at like 8 o'clock at night, but she didn't have a car seat. She didn't have food. She didn't have anything to set up for her child, but we ended up being able to pick her up, get her a car seat, get her a stroller, get all of these items donated, but also to take her to the grocery store and buy those basic needs that she needed in order to get by until she was eligible for the benefits that she was going to get. So funding like the DC Women's Bar Association Foundation General Operating Grant allows us to be able to plug in on those basic collateral needs that may not be legal services directly, but they are needs that our clients need fulfilled immediately and urgently that we can't always write specifically into a grant.
I do this work because I believe in the human right to housing, I believe in the human right to participation, and I believe that as a community we have the potential to be far greater than we are, to really be a community of justice and a community that is inclusive.
Many other attorneys and clients in Ayuda's office have really benefited from these funds. Whenever we have cases that we're not sure how we're going to pay, our director always says, oh, well, we have the WBA funds. And so it's just a huge relief. And it's so important for us to be able to provide accessible legal services, and the funds from the WBA make our services accessible. And so just thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. And we're happy and excited to continue to share success stories with you all.
The Women's Bar Association Foundation was one of our very, very first funders right after we were founded. And so to have that thread, that consistent, steady thread of support has been invaluable. It gave us confidence and also gave us some leverage and credibility when we were going to other funders. We have grown from being an organization of $20,000 a year in our first year to over $300,000 a year. And that's, just fantastic. And I certainly owe that in part to the Women's Bar Association Foundation.